In one of the most competitive and relentless cities in America, New York, where millions of people battle every day to make a name for themselves, there lived a young man named Alex Carter. He was 28 years old and had spent the last 5 years working at a prestigious law firm. On paper, he had everything: a top-tier education, a strong work ethic, and a resume that many would envy. But in reality, he was invisible. In a world where success was measured by recognition and power, Alex's hard work went unnoticed, and his talents were constantly overlooked. Despite the long hours and dedication he put into his work, Alex found himself in a constant struggle for validation. His colleagues, many of whom were less qualified, often received praise and promotions, while Alex remained stagnant in his position. He had once dreamed of making it big in the world of law, but now he was just another face in the crowd, ignored and dismissed. One day, during a crucial meeting with clients, Alex's boss, Raymond Foster, a man known for his arrogance and ruthless demeanor, publicly humiliated him. In front of the entire team, Raymond berated Alex for a minor mistake in a case, questioning his intelligence and capability. The room fell silent as Raymond's sharp words echoed in Alex's ears. "Alex Carter, you're a failure in this firm. I don't know why we even keep you around. You'll never be a leader, never rise above mediocrity." The words stung like 1,000 needles, and the laughter of his colleagues, who had long viewed him as expendable, only added salt to the wound. Alex walked out of that meeting feeling like his career was over. But was it? Was this the end of his story, or was it just the beginning of something much bigger? Part 1. Mystery and unanswered questions. For days after the meeting, Alex went through the motions of his work, but inside, a storm was brewing. He could feel the anger, the humiliation, and the burning desire to prove everyone wrong. It was the moment when he realized that the only way to change his fate was to take matters into his own hands. He started staying late at the office, going through case files and company documents that no one else cared to examine. As he dug deeper into the firm's business dealings, he noticed something odd, an irregularity in a high-profile case involving one of the company's biggest clients. Alex's sharp mind quickly connected the dots, and he realized that the company was involved in a major corruption scandal. Hidden contracts, shady dealings, and bribes, everything pointed to something far more dangerous than just a small mistake. At first, Alex was paralyzed with fear. If he exposed the truth, he could lose everything: his job, his career, and possibly his freedom. But what if this was his chance? What if this was the key to unlocking the power he had always dreamed of? His discovery didn't come without its challenges. The more he looked into it, the more danger he found himself in. He began noticing strange things happening around the office. Employees who had always been friendly now acted distant, and the higher-ups seemed more watchful of him. There was something in the air, something that told Alex that he was getting too close to the truth. As the days went by, the questions mounted. Could he expose the truth without being caught? Would anyone believe him? And if he did, what would happen to the people who had tormented him for so long? Part 2. The unexpected and the struggle. Alex knew he couldn't expose the truth without being careful. He spent hours each night developing a plan. He wasn't going to make the mistake of acting impulsively like he had in the past. This time, he would be smart. He would need help, but he couldn't trust anyone in the firm. So he turned to an old friend, Mia Green, a journalist with ties to the underground media that often uncovered corporate corruption. Mia had left the world of mainstream media after she realized how much control corporations had over the press. She was now working as an investigative journalist for smaller, independent outlets. Alex knew Mia was someone who understood the risks and could help him navigate the complex world of leaks and whistleblowing. After days of secret meetings, Alex finally decided to trust Mia with the sensitive information he had uncovered. But the stakes were higher than ever. They needed to be discreet, careful, and methodical. If they made one wrong move, it could be the end for both of them. As Mia helped Alex prepare to release the information, they were both aware that the consequences of failure would be severe. But as the deadline for the leak approached, Alex began to question whether he could truly go through with it. His fear of losing everything, of being exposed, gnawed at him. Was he ready to risk everything for the truth? Just as the plan was set in motion, Alex's worst fear came to life. One evening, while he was leaving the office late, he was followed by one of the firm's security guards. Alex's heart raced as he realized that someone had caught wind of his plans. He couldn't afford to be discovered. The tension reached a breaking point when Alex was summoned to a private meeting with Raymond Foster, his boss. Raymond, with his sharp eyes and calculating mind, had clearly noticed the change in Alex's behavior. The trap was set. Alex had only two choices: confront Raymond and risk everything, or play along and keep his secret hidden a little longer. What would Alex do? Would he give up his mission, or would he take the ultimate risk? Part 3. Revenge and Great Success. The day of the leak arrived. With Mia's help, Alex managed to anonymously send the documents to several prominent investigative journalists. The story quickly gained traction, and the firm was plunged into chaos. The corruption and illegal activities that Alex had uncovered were far worse than anyone had imagined. It wasn't just the company's reputation at stake, it was the entire industry. As the media storm brewed, Alex's role in the leak remained unknown. But as the investigation into the firm's activities intensified, the pressure on Alex's colleagues grew. People who had once mocked him, who had belittled him for years, were now scrambling to cover their tracks. They knew the truth was out, and they were scared. Raymond Foster, the man who had humiliated Alex, found himself under investigation. He was fired from the company, and his assets were frozen. But the most satisfying part for Alex wasn't watching his boss fall. It was seeing the people who had wronged him finally face the consequences of their actions. As for Alex, the firm could no longer afford to ignore him. His courage and intelligence were recognized, and he was promoted to a position of great influence within the company. Not only did he become a key figure in the firm's restructuring, but he also gained the respect of colleagues who had once dismissed him. In the end, Alex's revenge wasn't about destroying people. It was about showing them that the quiet, overlooked worker had the power to change the course of events. He had risen from the shadows of humiliation and obscurity to become a force to be reckoned with. The lesson: Alex had learned that sometimes the greatest strength lies in silence, in patience, and in working quietly behind the scenes. His story was one of redemption, of a man who overcame every obstacle to find success, not by fighting back with anger, but by using his intellect and persistence. Ending a new path with his newfound power and respect, Alex's life took a new turn. He no longer had to fight for recognition. He had earned it. But perhaps the greatest victory of all was the personal growth he had achieved. He had faced his fears, taken risks, and ultimately had the courage to change his destiny. Alex's journey was one of transformation, from an invisible, humiliated man to someone who had the power to reshape the future. And as he looked out over the city that had once seemed so overwhelming, he knew that this was just the beginning. The future was his to command. Conclusion: in the end, Alex's story was one of ultimate redemption, a journey from being dismissed and belittled to rising above it all. His tale showed that even when the world seems against you, even when you're trapped in a corner, there's always a way out, if you have the courage to look for it.